Welcome back to 1776 Robust. So I just want to give some advice to new gun buyers out there who might be thinking about purchasing a firearm soon. One of the things that you have to always be leery of is the purchase itself. Sometimes when you get a gun and you see a lot of things and you read a lot of things and it's coming out as, oh my God, it's this great, amazing pistol. It not only shoots bullets, but it'll cook you dinner also. The next thing you know, you're buying it and you bring it home and it winds up being a huge piece of shit. I would tell you that my experience with the Canic have not been positive, and I'm not going to lie to you about it and say, oh, it's a great gun, even though it's not doing certain things right. I am going to tell you that it's been very negative for me, and I wound up mailing it out today, and I started getting a little aggravated because it should never have been this way. You put $400 on a gun, you want it to perform the way it should. But if I was going to give you any advice, and again, this is going to new gun buyers and maybe even gun buyers already who own firearms, one of the pieces of advice that I'm going to give you is not to buy pieces of shit. I'm just kidding. Actually, the one piece of advice I'm going to give you is that whatever you buy, go out and shoot the damn gun, because you may not know what's going on with this gun from just a review on YouTube or an article you've read in Guns and Ammo. You got to go out and you got to shoot the gun, because not every gun is made the same. Not every gun is equal in the world of firearms, and unfortunately sometimes you get lemons, and sometimes they may have a million of them produced and there's 999,999 of them that are perfect, and then you get that one that winds up being the big steamy pile of crap. And I would like to think that what I got was a steamy pile of crap, but eventually they're going to give me a great one that works, and hopefully that does. So I just wanted to kind of share with you what I do in regards to making sure that when I carry a gun, it's going to perform for me. Now, there is no set limit of what you should use in regards to a count, in regards to how many rounds you have in the gun before you begin to carry it. I would tell you that if you buy a gun and you don't go out and you shoot it, or if you shoot it only 100 rounds through it, don't carry it, because 100 rounds, I mean, that's nothing. That's like, pissing in the wind. It's going to come back at you. So one of the things that I would totally recommend is make a number that's a decent number. It could be 300 rounds, it could be 600 rounds. I know some people out there have 1,000 round count. If you're a multiple gun owner, 1,000 rounds is a lot, because it's a lot of money that you're spending on the ammunition. Unless, of course, there are any sponsors who watch this video and you want to give me some ammo, totally would love it. But for me, my round count is 600. That's my minimum. My standard is going to be 600 rounds. I'm going to shoot the gun 600 times to make sure that through that 600 times, if there's any little inconsistencies, any weird quirks in there, I can either figure it out or I can see if it repeats itself within that 600 round limit. Now, of course, that's not a magic number. That's not a guarantee that it's not going to happen in 601 rounds or 720 rounds. There's no guarantee to this. But for me personally, 600 rounds is where I want to be with a gun that I'm going to carry, because the first 300 rounds of the Canic, there's definitely an ejection issue on the casings. I don't care what anybody says. You can watch all the videos online that you want, and I guarantee you're going to see inconsistent patterns with the ejection of the brass. So for me, the first 300 rounds, it was an absolute. It definitely happened. It was absolutely true. It hit my wife in the face. I took a few to the face. And then half of it was barely ejecting over my hand. Now, whether or not it has to be NATO spec and it has to have 40,000 psi to actually operate correctly, that's a debate I'm not going to have. Why? Because I don't believe that. I think that's ridiculous, but that's me. I will tell you that this SIG right here, this has just shy under 600 rounds. Do I carry it? Time to time I do. I know it's below the 600 mark for me, but I mean, guys, it's a SIG Sauer. It's a SIG P320. There's not going to be any issues with this gun. I'm telling you right now, there's not. And if there are, I'm wrong. But for me, this has got like maybe 580 rounds through it or something. But this is going to be coming into its own soon, and it will be carried more often, especially with another 25 to 50 rounds through it. This PPQ has about 620, 650. I don't know. I lose count. But it has over 600. I know that. And I will tell you, it's only had one failure to eject in 600 plus rounds, and it's never happened again. Plus, it happened in the first 25 rounds that I shot through this gun. After that, never happened again. This PPQ right here, this one, I love it. It's my favorite. This one right here is over 1,000. no issues, zero, and that's awesome. So for me, the magic number is 600. I think if you come into 600 rounds and you don't really have many issues, or if it's one or two sporadic issues, then it's really nothing to necessarily be concerned about. However, in the first 600 rounds, if you're seeing that there are these really weird inconsistencies with the ejection patterns, with the slide locking back and not being able to go back into battery until you relieve the pressure on the slide lock, to me, those are issues that can't be overlooked, and those are not just small time issues, because as anything else, a small issue can become a huge problem later on. And those are the issues you need to work out and get those bugs out before you ever put any of these guns into service as a concealed carry, or as just an open carry gun. But, I'm really bummed out about the Kenna, guys. I'm really annoyed by it because, I spent my money on a $400 plus gun, and now it's gone. And hopefully it'll be coming back soon in a month to a month and a half, and hopefully it comes back working. But I figured I'd just share some of those thoughts with you. Again, if you're a first-time gun buyer, shoot your guns, guys. Make sure they work and they operate correctly, because if they don't, they've got to go back to the manufacturer. And the reason why I stress that is because, remember, this is the great equalizer. If the cops aren't around to protect you and you need instant protection, this is going to be the thing you're going to rely on. And the last thing you want is a failure to happen in one of those situations, and especially a failure that could have been prevented in the factory before it ever came out to the consumer. So I hope you guys are going to have a great night. Hopefully you be safe out there. I promise tomorrow I'm going to do a couple of videos on the final day of this 2016, and they'll be more positive than this one. But I got so aggravated today that I had to share some of my thoughts with you. So I hope you guys have a great night. Be safe out there, and as always, freedom is never free.